Pambansang Awit ng Pilipinas.
Kayang mag-ibig, telas ng silanganan, alam ng puso, sa titik mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, tuyak ka ng magiting, sa manlulupin, di ka pasisingil, sa nagagang tutok sa simoy at sa langit mong pagaw, ay hinatang tulad, awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang isang ng matawad mo'y tagumpay na nag-iindig, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di magtitindig. Luman ang araw ng walhaging pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Ang inigaya ng pagkay mga api, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Sorry. Okay, good morning, everyone. This is your host. My name is Henrietta Nacario. And today we are going to have our webinar regarding the vaccination campaign awareness. This is in relation to all the inquiries and all the worries of, especially in the DepEd. Now that we are receiving vaccines from every part of the country. We have made this plan to be able to address all those hesitations and sometimes probably worries of all the DepEd personnel in getting vaccines and what particular vaccines they want to get or they prefer to get. And but before we start, I would like to give you a sort of an introductions or just basic recalling or the history of the COVID-19 in the Philippines. We know that we've been struggling for more than a year now since the entry of the COVID-19 virus in our country as early as January last year. So just for the basic information, maybe a recall of the history of the COVID-19 in the Philippines. If you remember, our first case was notified or was informed in the country during January 30, 2020. So this is because of a 38-year-old Chinese woman from Visayas area has been confined in San Lazaro Hospital and was found to have had a new strain of a virus, which are still unknown to us. And so we called it as a novel coronavirus because it's still new type of coronavirus, but it's not yet strained or identified during that time. And then on February 1, 2020, we have a news that there is a 44-year-old Chinese man found to have a positive to the virus. And this is the first, our country is the first country outside China to record a confirmed death of the virus COVID-19. And then our first local transmission was documented on March 7, 2020. And after that, it's followed by around 81 provinces who have contracted the disease. And then on March 15 up to May, there is a Luzon-wide quarantine in the Philippines declared by the presidents. And so that pushed our President Duterte to create the Bayanihan to Heal as One Act on March 24. After which, a general quarantine was declared on March 15. That includes us all. If you remember, though we were not allowed to report at school that time. And then this Bayanihan Act 1 to heal as one, to heal as one actually, is giving an extra power for the president to preside it and to handle the pandemic himself. And then after that, on September 11, a follow-up Bayanihan Act to recover as one was issued in September 11. So after that, if we will just look at the statistics, from January 2020, Philippines is the second highest in Southeast Asia, sixth in Asia, and number 24 in the whole world. So it's really quite alarming because the rise of the cases is very fast, and that there was a documented largest confirmed cases by the DOH on April 2, 2021, of which there is around 15,310 confirmed positive. Then RITM was the first testing laboratory in the Philippines, and in June 4, 2021, the latest news is that there is a 13,684,316 tested or test that has been done. So in December 2020 rather, new variant of UK traveled in the Philippines or was found to have infected one of our fellow Filipino. And then there was a travel restrictions on the different countries as declared by our country. And then by January this year, new variant, South Africa and Malaysia has been detected. And in February, new mutations in Cebu has been found. And then March in this year, South Africa and has been found in one of the Filipino in Pasay. And then a Brazilian variant has been also found. So since then, from the general quarantine that has been issued, an national emergency for 1 year has been declared in September. So it will be due this September 2021. So until then, the NCR remains NCR plus, or the NCR plus the Calabar zone and the high-risk areas has been still under the quarantine program. And as you watch in the news, there were changes of a quarantine status from the general to modified and all. So still, the status of the whole Philippines are not yet free from COVID-19. And so therefore, it is a very good intervention for our country to initiate the vaccine campaign, of which the target is to have at least 80% of the national population. But it's quite difficult for us to do that, knowing that our country is having an economic crisis. But then again, our SDO opinion also, since the priority for the vaccines are the frontliner, which we already got it, we are already vaccinated. And as per the priority category of A, B, and C, the first priority would be on the category A, composed of four priority numbers, so 8.1, 2, 3, and 4. So to clarify these things and to give you more details about it, we plan to conduct this webinar for the general information of all. So to start with, I would like to introduce our first speaker. You've known him already. I mean, he's not new to you. And just to give you a background of his assets, of his credentials. So this fellow nurse of ours is a graduate of Bachelor of Science in Nursing in Perpetual Health in year 1996. And then he also attended education modular approach and completed it in 2014. And fortunately, he's handling an LPT license. And then his background as a nurse, he worked in Perpetual also as an ER nurse for 3 years. followed by an 8 months at Taste of Water in the NCR in St. Luke's, working as a geriatric nurse. And then 7 years also, he worked in the Hospital ng Biñan as a head nurse in emergency department. And then was absorbed in the DepEd in October of 2017. He is appointed as a school nurse for San Antonio campus and presently working with us. He is also designated as the disease surveillance coordinator focal as well as the COVID-19 focal. So, by the way, he's still single, for those, he's such a good guy and he's very helpful to all of the projects of the Open Kalisugan in the DepEd. So, without much further ado, I would like to introduce to you Sir, our nurse, Arnel S. Hikat.
Ngayon na yung audio ko. Nakasama yung audio ko. Okay, good morning po sa inyo lahat. Magandang umaga po. So first of all, I would like to thank all of you here for attending this informative webinar regarding COVID-19 vaccination program. And most importantly, to discuss to you the 10 must-knows for everyone. So we could communicate better and we could have a demand for this vaccine. So again, I am Arnel S. Hicana, school nurse of Biñan City Senior High School, San Antonio campus, and a focal person of COVID-19, SDO Biñan City. And we would like talking about yung mga inyong katanungan at yung mga most common questions that everyone we should know so that we could avail of the vaccine and how do we proceed for this program. So let us discuss our strategic plan for our COVID-19 vaccination. Malinaw naman po ang ating layunin that to have a safe, equitable, and cost-effective immunization for all Filipinos. Ngunit gusto ko rin pong ipagbigay din po at i-emphasize the main cause of this plan are already set our emotion po. Our vaccine deployment has started this first quarter and it will continue to continue for until to reach our goal. No po? Our mission is actually sustainable immunization program against COVID-19 and subsequently our goal is to protect the public and reduce morbidity and mortality rates due to COVID-19. So as you can see, no, bida ang bakunado, I am now fully vaccinated po. My second dose was done last, May 24. So ito na po yung strategic plan for COVID-19. Kita nyo po yung ano. Okay na. So what are the vaccine benefits mo? Let us go now to our first question. Why do we need to get vaccinated? The COVID-19 pandemic has taken many lives and continue to put many at risk po. So it has left many Filipinos unable to provide for their families. So ano nga po ba ang benepisyo nito? Ang mga bakunang ito, number 1 po, can prevent severe infection dun po sa mild and moderate cases. At ang number 2 po, most importantly, can prevent the severe infection and mortality or death for COVID-19. However, like many vaccines being used for the past decade, the protective effect of our community is fully maximized pag umabot po to ng 70% population get vaccinated. So we need to remember, this is not just about getting your barangay, your city, your community, your province, and to our division po, no, after this vaccination. For example po, ang population of your community is 100,000, we need at least 70,000 to achieve the herd immunity po. So for the question number 2, which vaccine will we use? So currently, these are limited supply of vaccine all over the world. In fact, 80% of our global company provide for vaccine for nabili na po ito ng mayayamang bansa because no single company provide for this vaccine. For 110 million Filipinos, the government is in talks to 7 manufacturers po. Yan po nakikita nyo, AstraZeneca, Gamaleya, Janssen, Moderna, Novavax, Pfizer, and Sinovac. And I want to tell rest assured that only vaccine that have received Philippine FDA's Emergency Use Authorization or EUA will vote and use sa ating community at sa ating rollout. The EUA provide the assurance that it has been thoroughly evaluated and recommended by the various independent expert panels, and also this not worry COVID-19 vaccine cannot make you safe with COVID-19 because alam po natin ang ating mga bakuna has no active component of the virus. Ang component po nitong vaccine na to is inactivated, yung pong killed virus. Ginagamitan po nila to ng chemical agent na tinatawag na beta-propiolactone. Yan, ginagawa po sa laboratory. So meron din po tayo yung subunits wherein yung part lang po ng virus ang kinukuha. At meron din po tayo yung weakened virus, yung mahihina, na yun po yung binibigay sa atin. So next is, do we have to pay for anything is free? So kailangan po 100% free. So the government will provide the vaccine for free. So hindi po kailangan natin magbayad sa mga bakunang ito. It also working to note that Republic Act number 11525 stated that LGUs and private companies may enter to po sa mga yung tripartite agreement with the Department of Health and National Task Force to procure po ang ating COVID-19 vaccine. Even then, itong mga bakunang ito should be provided for free sa mga Pilipino. So again, wala po tayong babayaran sa mga bakunang ibibigay po sa atin. Pag nagbayad po, isumbong natin kay Tulfo. So next, so what are the goals for prioritizing sa mga vaccine? Una, let's see kung sino yung eligible population for the vaccination based on our primary, secondary, and tertiary goal. Our primary goal is maintenance of most critical essential services po to directly reduction of morbidity and mortality. While our secondary goal is substantially control yung transmission ng sakit na ito and also minimize the disruption of social and economic security function ng ating bansa. And lastly, yung tertiary goal natin is resumption to the near normal para po makabalik na tayo sa ating dating pamumuhay. So for priority eligible Group A, we have the following. Group A, frontliner health workers in health facility. Ito po yung active na mga frontliner na health worker natin who are taking care of our COVID-19 confirmed, suspect, and probable. And also should kasama dito po yung A2, senior citizen, 60 years old above. Ang A3 po, yung may mga comorbidities. Ang pang-apat po sa ating priority group ay ang ating mga frontline personnel and essential sectors. Ito ay both public and private sector, including po dito yung mga uniform personnel at saka dun sa mga sectors na ma-identify na ang IATF na papasok sa mga grupong ito. At ang fifth group po, ito po yung sa ating priority eligible Group A, are the indigent population based on the National Household Targeting System for Poverty Reduction na hindi rin nakasama nga sa previous na mga grupo na mga nabanggit ko po. So nasaan daw po yung kategorya ngayon ng mga teacher? Kailan nila matatanggap ang kanilang bakuna. So from the DOH team, base po sa latest na list eligible workers, in the A4 industry or sector, galing po sa recovery cluster ng National Task Force ng COVID-19, the National Economic Development Authority, ang mga teachers po ay kasama po kayo doon sa priority group A 4.11. Dito po mga frontliner, personnel, basic education, and higher education institution and agencies. Kasama po dito yung Department of Education, teachers, higher education teacher, technical vocational education and training, frontline personnel, frontline workers of CHED, PRC, and other agencies in charge of administering the board exam, cleaners and janitor in the basic and higher education institution and agencies. Ito po ang mga latest na list ng eligible workers from the recovery cluster of the National Task Force of COVID-19. So wala po tayo pang specific date na po. So dito naman po tayo sa priority group B, no po. Mga social workers din po, then we have B2, second, the other government workers. Third, we have B3, the essential workers. Fourth, the B4, we have socially demographic group at significantly higher risk po, no other than senior citizen for the transmission of COVID-19. So sino po ang mga ito? Sila po yung mga persons deprived of liberty, persons with disability, and Filipinos living in high density areas. Po sa Group B5 are Filipino overseas worker and Group B6 are yung pong others remaining workforce. So punta naman po tayo sa Group C, no po? Punta na. So who are included po dito? So dito po ay mga rest of the Filipino population na hindi kabilang sa mga grupong nabanggit ko kanina. So basically makikita po sa priority group A, B at C ay lahat po ng Pilipino. All of us will be vaccinated in this vaccination program. Tanong ng bayan, when and where I get vaccinated? So, where and when will I get vaccinated? So the national government is working with partnership with our local government units to get the vaccine to us. So our local government unit will arrange walk-in for the registration and scheduling of vaccination. Kailangan lang po natin maghintay for specific instructions and announcement from your local chief executive mayors or governors po, no? Ngayon po, di po ba nagsisimula na to? And then, next is the LGU based on DOH guidelines po. Yung mga local government unit po natin based on DOH guidelines will implement digital and manual master listing following the priority eligible groups. So yung iba po nating LGUs have set up an online platform registration for vaccination. So pwede natin check for the following weeks to register or magpalista para sa ating COVID-19 vaccination. So pwede pang ma-assess yung registration directory dito po sa link na pinapakita ko. And also could ask for sa inyong barangay or barangay health worker or BERT, or even sa public information office of each locality, municipal, or city. DOH with the LGU will also identify po yung mga implementing units natin sa mga sariling localities natin at saka po ilang vaccination site na pwede nating puntahan. So magkakaroon po tayo ng sinasabi nating fixed post-vaccination strategy. So this will include medical centers, hospital, and infirmaries, both private and public. So gagamitin po natin ang mga rural health unit at iba po nating facilities. Mga government agencies natin na katulad ng mga health facilities natin like AFP, BJMP, Bucor at DepEd po. And we will also be in partnership with the private clinics kung pwede silang ma-identify as vaccination site. Kasi minsan po mga ginagawa na po ito ngayon kahit sa mga hospital, meron na po silang mga ginagawang vaccination sites. So, pang-anim po, tanong ng bayan. What do I do before vaccination? So, while we wait for the vaccine to arrive, we need to make sure that we obtain accurate information for the right sources. So, as only licensed medical professionals or those are really involved in the national vaccination program, so that we are correctly advised regarding COVID-19 vaccination. We need to verify things that you may have read and heard. It is only when we are armed with right information that rightfully decide if you want to get the vaccination or not. And rest assured that your healthcare workers that you will be asking questions are very equipped kung kailangan mo bang bigyan ng bakuna at bakit napakahalaga po talaga ng bakuna. Secondly, is to schedule to self-health screening and declare all your complete medical history. This is very important to determine which vaccine are appropriate to you. Sa, kailangan lang po natin i-emphasize that no person will reschedule for vaccination without giving thorough health screening po. So, next tanong po ng bayan. Can a person decline the vaccination? The answer is yes. Anyone can opt to decline for vaccination by signing a waiver. So this will forfeit his or her slot according to prioritization of eligible groups, and persons shall be scheduled after the priority population has been vaccinated. So importante po dito is to obtain accurate information from the right sources para po mabigyan po kayo ng correct advice and can make an informed decision before declining the vaccination. So another tanong ng bayan, will a person will get the same brand for both doses? Yes po, the DOH in coordination with the LGUs will assure the allocation of adequate dose of the same Philippine FDA-approved vaccine brand for those getting vaccinated. So kung ano po yung bakuna natin sa una, yun din po yung brand na ibibigay sa atin, no po, na ituturo. Will a person receive, ito na pala yun. Next is, I previously recovered the COVID-19. Do I still need to get vaccinated? Yes po, importante rin mabakunahan. It is recommended that you can vaccinated even you have recovered. Hindi na po kailangan maghintay pa ng 90 days. Basta ito po, stable po kayo. Nakumpleto po ang treatment ninyo. May clearance na rin po kayo at wala na pong signs and symptoms. Pwede na po kayong bakunahan kahit nagkaroon po kayo ng COVID-19. So do I need to get tested before getting vaccinated? Hindi na po kailangan. No tests are needed before and after getting the vaccine. Pang-pitong katanungan po, what do I do during vaccination? During the vaccination, you need to go to your assigned vaccination site as scheduled. Kailangan po to maintain again yung ating minimum public health standard, which includes wearing of face mask, face shield, and stay away at least 1 meter away from others po, no? Importante pa rin po na mas maganda po in our vaccination site are well ventilated at okay po ang airflow. After that, we need to sign in our vaccination site are well ventilated po, no po? And meron po tong sign and informed consent. Number 1 is you are aware of the benefits and risks of vaccine and you are willing to get vaccinated. So on the day of vaccination, the healthcare worker will monitor for at least 15 to 30 minutes po. No? You can go home for any unusual symptoms or adverse reaction. Hindi po agad uuwi kapag naturo ka ng bakuna. So kailangan po i-monitor kung may lalabas na sintomas. And after this, hindi pababayaan ng DOH ang ating mga kababayan because all Filipinos who are vaccinated will be monitored for 12 months. So ako po nung first dose ng vaccination, after that, kinabukasan po nakaranas po ako ng parang binat. 1 day lang po yun, then wala para pong nangyari. Then yung pong second dose, mas okay na po, wala rin pong nangyari na mga adverse reaction. So in connection po dun sa sinasabi natin kanina in monitoring adverse effect following immunization, will be monitored strictly by our health professionals. So if hospitalization is needed, existing telehealth cases will be used, and during also master listing and profiling, PhilHealth will provide station desks on site. So sa walong katanungan po, what do I do after vaccination? So usual symptoms should experience including pain, redness, and swelling in injection site, as well as flu-like symptoms, including meron pong fever, may headache, may fatigue. So these are normal signs that your body is actually building up protection. So what if discomfort in case after 24 hours po, no? Or nagkakaroon ng unusual symptoms, and this is worrying you can always report for the nearest health authority for monitoring and management. Ha? Question number 9. After vaccination, should I still wear face mask and face shield? Of course, yes. The COVID-19 vaccine is just an additional tool to protect ourselves from this disease even after vaccination. We need to practice the minimum public health standard to provide and continuous protection natin sa ating sarili. So sa ating pamilya, to our community, so we can be safer for COVID-19 transmission, and also dun sa mga nakita po natin na nagsusulputang mga bargains. So yung pangtanong pang-10 po, the last question, how do I ensure the vaccine I get are authentic po? So on the COVID-19 vaccine with Philippine FDA certification and are transported in strict cold chain condition, are able to provide Philippine protection for those who are vaccinated, and we also request for the participation of everybody involving themselves in feedback platforms. So as you can see, ito po yung COVID-19 summary ni natin sa school, no po. Ito po yung mga, meron po tayong confirmed case as of now is 43 po. Active case, teaching, 5 po. 25 po yung 23 na po yung recovered. Yan, nakakalungkot lang po, nagkaroon tayo ng isang death. So sa recovered po ng learners, okay naman po, recovered na po sila yung 6. Sana po wala na madagdagan. And non-teaching po, 8. So all in all, 43 po lahat sila. So sa male po, nang nagkaroon ng COVID is 14, female is 29, na-admit po sa hospital 15, 4 po ang sa ICU, nagkaroon po ng home quarantine po yung 28 lang po. At ito po, sinasabi ko sa mga buntis po, meron po tayong 5 nagkaroon po ng confirmed cases. No? Yung isa po ay nag-undergo ng DNC. Naras pa po siya. So, ayan po ang ating sa probable po. Ito po, ano na po, yung 2 pong probable, okay na po. Nag-negative po yung result nila. So, far, buti naman po. So, sa close contact, since last year po, ng April, so 1 year na po ako nagmo-monitor, nasa kasama po din yung suspect, close contact, PUI, PUM before, yun, tsaka yung probable, umabot na po sila ng 100 plus. Sa bagay ko, kaunti na lang po ngayon yung mga close contact na minomonitor ko. So ito po yung COVID bulletin update sa region, sa ating region. So po, as you can see sa Biñan po, bakit 27? Nasaan po yung 16? Yung 16 po dito na confirmed case ay hindi po sila residents ng Biñan. Sila po ay Santa Rosa, Cavite Province, Laguna, doon po sila kabila. Pero ako po yung nagmo-monitor at nire-relate po ang kanilang health status sa doon po sa respective SDO personnel po ng division, ng specific division. So I have here a message po. Ito po yung ating isang nagkaroon ng isa pong nating COVID survivor. No? Ipapakilala ko po siya bago po siya mag-present ng video presentation niya. Dear friends, teachers, and all SDO personnel who are right now, once again, good morning today. We will hear a testimony of hope, survival, and faith. One of our colleagues from Mamplasan Elementary School and concurrent disbursing officer of Jacobo C. Gonzalez Memorial National High School. He was diagnosed of severe COVID-19 last February 2021 at the University of Perpetual Health Medical Center. Will share his struggles, tears, confidence, and battle to beat COVID-19 and have another life. Let us all hear from him how this virus and pandemic changed and humbled his life. Please welcome one of the 42 COVID survivor, Sir William Buhain.
All of you, especially to Ma'am Edna Faura Agustin, our SDS, to Sir Edgardo B. Militante, our ASDS, to all the department head units headed by Sir Ariel M. Cabantog, our Administrative Officer 5, and to all our teaching and non-teaching personnel in SDO Biñan City. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Wilfredo Cruz Buhain, the Administrative Officer 2 of Mamplasan Elementary School and the outgoing disbursing officer of Jacobo Z. Gonzalez Memorial National High School. I would like to share with you my experience as a COVID-19 survivor. I have been diagnosed with COVID-19 critical pneumonia resolving last February 2021 without an idea from where I possibly got infected by the virus. I have comorbidity due to pneumonia and calcific densities or stones in the ureter, which causes urinary tract infection almost every 2 months, which makes me vulnerable for severe case of COVID if I will be infected by the virus. First week of February, when I started to experience symptoms of COVID-19, like on and off fever, diarrhea, muscle pain, shortness of breathing, loss of appetite, colds, and severe coughing, which causes back pain, chest pain, lower abdominal pain, and tiredness. After more than a week, I submitted myself for RT-PCR test, and the result was positive during that time. Due to loss of sufficient oxygen supply in my body, I was admitted at Santa Rosa Community Hospital. Medical procedures, laboratory examinations, and x-rays were done immediately. The oxygen supply within my body reaches down to 78% only, and I couldn't stand long without oxygen support even for a few seconds. My blood platelets were far from normal as well, and it was suspected then that I might be having dengue fever as well, which would need immediate blood transfusion. As advised by the doctor, I was immediately transferred to a much bigger hospital with complete facilities and intensive care unit as the situation getting critical. Though I have apprehension due to financial matter, I go with my faith that God is great and He will provide. I put all my trust in Him and leave everything according to His plan, together with the prayers of friends and family. I am literally gasping for air during that time when I arrived at the hospital. And at that time, there is no ICU, and waited for another day before I got accommodated in the ICU. Medical procedures and tests were done again. They have induced 3 vials of remdesivir, but no significant change occur. As the situation getting critical, I might undergo dialysis to clean up the blood in my body, and there is a need for them to intubate me any moment. They took written consent from me at that time for those procedures. But before doing that, there is still one more test drug that they might be able to try, which is currently being used in other countries. If I am willing, then they could induce it, and the cost is 67,000 per vial. So it gives me hope before being intubated. So I have signed another consent for that. I'm having the taste of death already during that time. But I put all my trust to the Lord. With God's grace, the test drug has positive reaction in my body. Gradually, my condition was improving and the breathing starts to stabilize. For 6 days, I was in the intensive care unit. God washed away all my fears and worries during those times. I have complete peace of mind the whole time I was in the ICU. I've stayed for another 7 days in the private ward. Then I was discharged, and the doctor informed me that it was safe already for me to be discharged and continue the recovery at home while still under quarantine for several weeks more. A severe critical case of COVID could take at least 2 to 3 months before getting recovered. One time, Nurse Arnel asked me if I'm willing to share my experience as a COVID-19 survivor, and I said yes, because I would like to share 3 particular reasons that could serve as an inspiration and possible learning from it. First, naniniwala ako na may social responsibility tayo sa ating kapwa. Sa palagay ko ay may karapatan ng bawat isa na malaman kung sa paligid niya ay may nakaambang panganib. Kaya hindi ko itinago noong panahon na ako ay infected ng virus upang sila ay pansamantalang makaiwas for any medical risk. Ngunit dapat rin sana nating maintindihan na ang mga taong dumaranas ng ganitong karamdaman ay nangangailangan din ng pagdamay, lakas ng loob, support in whatever form, and the most important thing is prayer. Hindi tayo dapat maging discriminative sa mga taong nagkaroon ng COVID. We should be sensitive enough sa pakiramdam ng mga taong nagdaan sa ganitong kabigat na sitwasyon. And sharing my experience to those undergoing the same situation could make them hope to recover. Second reason ay proper education regarding sa literature ng sakit na COVID and the continuous practice of safety protocols. As I have observed, many of us now are so reluctant and doesn't mind safety nets at all. We should continue practicing safety protocols. It is primarily because we're having mental or psychological fatigue already, kaya hindi na tayo sumusunod. Meaning, napapagod na tayo sa daily routine ng pagsunod ng protocols. Kaya madalas ay di na tayo sumusunod sa proper wearing of mask and face shield and social distancing. And until now, it's just so bad na may mga tao pa rin naniniwala na hindi totoo ang COVID virus. The third and most important reason why am I sharing this experience of mine is for us to be reminded that with God, nothing is impossible. He is our only hope. Surrender everything to God with all humility in your heart. He will rescue you and He will never leave you. It's not only with COVID, but with all the problems that we're encountering in our daily lives. Even how hard it is, do not lose hope. Never doubt what the Lord can do for you. Come to think of it, being in the ICU for 6 days with total peace of mind was such an unexplainable experience. And the prayers of my family helped me a lot to recover. At this point, let me take this opportunity to thank all my relatives, friends, co-workers here in Biñan City who extended assistance, support, and prayers during the time of my battle with COVID-19. Let us continue spreading the value of kindness to everyone. Have a blessed day to all of you and always keep safe. Thank you very much.
Okay. So, Nurse Arnel, thank you for sharing that video with us. Indeed, it inspires all of us, because as we are not affected yet, so parang talagang relax tayo, ano? But hearing those testimony from the person himself who has been afflicted by COVID-19, talagang nararamdaman namin yung naging battle niya, no? Although we are not included in his. But then again, yung life experience talaga napaka-importante na mas matindi yung turo at dating, no? Kaysa sa mga nababasa lang natin. Um, we would like to appreciate our Nurse Arnel for sharing the COVID-19 vaccine and the 10 mass knows. So I believe that's most of our questions in mind has already been answered. However, we will be also entertaining questions later on. For those who wants to ask questions, please open the site www.menti.com for your question, and then just enter the code 11999358. The link is already posted in the chat box for people to get the link po. Ano? So later on, we will be having one more speaker, after which we are going to answer all those remaining questions in mind that you have. Ano po? Okay. So our next topic is yes, Werner.
Uh, may, thank you, Sir Wilfredo Buhain, for sharing your stories, no, as a COVID survivor. Sa mga ating confirmed cases po, ako'y nagpapasalamat dahil nagkaroon po kayo ng tiwala sa akin na sabihin talaga kung ano yung mga nararamdaman nyo. At alam ko naman yung stigma po na sa atin, no po, kapag may COVID, wala po kayong mapagsabihan. Maraming pong salamat sa inyong tiwala. Yes, Ma'am Henny.
Okay. So again, thank you, Mr. Buhain, for sharing your life experiences with us, and also for really trusting our COVID-19 focal, Sir Nurse Arnel po, para po sa mga follow-ups and all the daily status po na tinatanong po niya sa inyo. Ano po? So rest assured that all those information will be handled in relation to the Data Privacy Act. Ano po? Not unless, just like our Sir Buhain, he has given a consent to share his video for that experience in COVID-19. Ano po. So, but for those who are not confident enough to share, it's okay. Naintindihan po namin yon. And we are really into taking the confidentiality when it comes to this. Kasi nga po, yung tinatawag nating social stigma. Okay. So, as we proceed, our next topic is about the different type of vaccines, the indications, and the side effects. Kasi I'm sure you have already this brand of vaccine in your mind. Ano, but let us know kung ano ba yung mga inaasahan na pwedeng maging epekto ng katawan natin in response to receiving those vaccines. It is very important for us to know what are the capabilities of its vaccine. And though we are not, or rather we are encouraged not to be choosy, as this is initiated by the government, ano po, but it is also important for us to understand what this vaccine can do for us, can do to us, how can we, or an individual reactions of each person to different vaccines. Although kasi po may nararamdaman yung isa, the same lang naman po yung vaccine nila, ito nararamdaman, yung isa naman wala, ano po. So this will be further explained to you by our next speaker. To introduce our next speaker, she's a graduate of BS Biology in 1994 as a cum laude. And she graduated in Bachelor of Science in Medicine in NCU in Caloocan in 1999. And then she also completed her Master in Public Administration in 2002. And also Bachelor of Law in 2015. In her private practice outside DepEd hours, she is also a practicing medical legal officer. And her past experience are as follows. She worked in Hospital ng Biñan as a medical officer for 8 years, followed by a 4 years having the same position as medical officer in the Hospital ng Cabuyao, and then joined DepEd in November of 2017. So as you can see, she's really having a continuous track record in working in the government or public service. And she is, of course, our head of the school health section, our medical officer, since then, from November until this moment. So without much further ado, I would like to introduce to you our Medical Officer 3, Dr. Leila C. Bondo.
Good morning! So, sa mga nakikinig po, nag-ikot na ako nung last Friday just to promote this vaccination awareness campaign. So since narinig nyo na yung 10 must know, I will be discussing the different type of vaccines, how they are being prepared, and some side effects you will encounter. Okay, for my slides, for my first slide, I will be posting Okay, so this is Know Your COVID-19 vaccines. So currently, we have available 8 brands of COVID-19 vaccines. And if you will see dun sa table, we have the Pfizer BioNTech, Oxford AstraZeneca, Sinovac Coronavac. This is being made by China. Gamaleya Sputnik V, made by Russia. Janssen, the Bharat Biotech, Moderna, and the Novavax. So within this 8 available brand of vaccines, only 4 brand ng vaccines ang available dito sa Philippines. So iisa-isahin ko po muna. For the company, Oxford Uni AstraZeneca, this is being made by Great Britain. Ang type po nito is viral vector, genetically modified virus. 2 doses po ang dapat ibigay. And ang storage nito is 2 to 8 degrees. At least 6 months po yon. So kung ito yung gagamitin natin, so we really need a cold chain. Pero right now, iilang cities lang sa NCR ang merong cold chain at hindi pa rin ito binibigay sa atin dito sa Philippines. Number 2 is Moderna. It is an RNA part of virus genetic code. 2 doses din po ang kailangan natin. Ito yung medyo mahirap talaga kasi negative 25 to 15 degrees. So kailangan talaga natin ng cold chain dito kaya hindi pa rin siya available sa Philippines. Yung number 3, this is available now in the Philippines, made by Pfizer. Brand name niya is BioNTech. It is an RNA. 2 doses din po ang kailangan natin. Negative 80 to negative 60 degrees. So kung mapapansin nyo, itong Pfizer na to available lang sa different cities sa NCR kasi sila lang yung may cold chain para ma-store itong vaccine na to. Number 4 is the Gamaleya Sputnik V. Gawa po ito ng Russia. It is a viral vector. 2 doses din po ang kailangan. Negative 18.5 degrees. Liquid form ito. 2 to 8 degrees dry form. So available na rin po siya dito sa Philippines pero sa selected cities lang ng NCR because of the cold chain storage. Number 5, ito yung most commonly used vaccine, the Sinovac Coronavac, being made by China. It is an inactivated virus, meaning weakened yung virus niya. So 2 dose din po ang ibibigay. And ito, 2 to 8 degrees centigrade ang storage, kaya siya yung commonly available dito sa atin sa Philippines. Number 6, the Novavax. It's available din siya sa Philippines. It's a protein-based. 2 dose din, parang Sinovac din yan, 2 to 8 degrees, so madali siyang i-store. Number 7, Janssen. It is a viral vector. Ito hindi pa to available sa Philippines. Bibihira lang ang meron nito, but this time, 1 dose lang ang pwede mong ma-receive. 2 to 8 degrees din, so pwede rin siya dito sa Philippines, Kaya lang wala pa pong dumarating dito sa atin. Okay, I will just be discussing the four available vaccine in the Philippines which is FDA approved. So yung Pfizer-BioNTech, available na po siya. Meron na ring clinical trial, natapos na yung 1 to 3. So mostly available siya sa 70 countries, sa US, sa UK, member states ng European Union, Canada, and Switzerland. And it is being approved last December 23, 2020. Na-approve naman siya sa worldwide yon. Philippines, na-approve siya January 14, 2021. So, 2 doses po, 21 days apart. So, yan yung storage requirement, negative 80 to 60 degrees. The vaccine efficacy is 95%. Against symptomatic COVID-19, and it became effective 7 days after the second dose. What are the common adverse reaction reported? So ito yung mga natanggap nilang na nireport ng mga nabigyan na ng vaccine. Short term lang, mild to moderate pain at the injection site, fatigue, and headache. So mostly since it is given intramuscular, karamihan po nagkakaroon ng hematoma doon sa injection site or nakakapasa and at the same time sumasakit. For the serious adverse event reported in phase 3, although hindi naman po siya, konti lang, low occurrence lang ng similar in the vaccine and placebo group. Yung ibang, may mga participant who got the vaccine, they developed shoulder injury from vaccine administration. Nagkaroon din sila ng right axillary lymphadenopathy, parang nagkaroon ng kulani, paroxysmal arrhythmia, and right leg paresthesia. Siguro itong right leg paresthesia na to, since hindi siya pumayag sa shoulder pa injectionan, sa leg, pwede rin kasi may muscle din naman siya. Nagkaroon lang ng konting pamamanhid pero nawala din naman. So what are the population included? So elderly, so pwede dito ang senior, immunocompromised, ito yung may mga comorbidities or mga nagtitake sila ng mga medications like steroids. And in current studies, greater than 16 years old pwede na. Pero siguro we need further studies on this. Number 2, the most commonly used, the most commonly available, CoronaVac, Sinovac made by China. Nakatapos na po siya ng phase 3. Ginagamit na siya sa 17 countries, sa China, Indonesia, Turkey, Brazil, Malaysia, and Thailand. Na-approve siya January 13, 2021. Sa Philippines, na-approve siya February 22, 2021. And I'm lucky to announce na isa ako sa naka-receive since I am an A1 frontliner. I received my first dose of vaccine, Sinovac, March 3, and completed it March 31. So at least 28 days apart, 2 doses. Storage requirement 2 to 8 degrees. So the common adverse events reported, local lymphadenopathy in the injection site, allergic reaction that may be caused by component of the vaccine, kasi it is allergenic, no? Kaya nga tinatanong mostly kung may allergies ka, anaphylactic shock and convulsion with or without fever. Pero ito hindi naman reported. So just to share, since I received my Sinovac, I just developed hematoma on sa site ng shoulder ko. Pero after that, wala naman akong naramdamang iba. Nilagyan ko lang ng cold compress for the first 24 hours, then after 24 hours, warm compress. Serious adverse events reported, wala pa rin naman po. Okay? Other serious side effects not related to vaccine. So what are the specific population included? Again, elderly, senior citizen, immunocompromised. And then yung iba, nagkaroon sila ng estimated 13,000 target enrollment among healthcare professional, 18 to 59 and greater than 65 years old. Sa Turkey naman, 18 to 59 healthy adults. Sa Indonesia, 18 to 59 din healthy adults. So, pwede rin siya dyan sa atin dito sa Philippines. Okay, number 3 na commonly available dito sa Philippines, Gamaleya or the Sputnik V made by Russia. So naka-undergo na rin siya ng phase 1 to 3 trial. 51 countries na rin ang gumagamit, including Russia, Argentina, Bahrain, Belarus, and Hungary. Na-approve siya January 7, 2021. Sa Philippines, na-approve siya March 19, 2021. So isa na siya ngayon sa newly brand na binibigay. So 2 dose din, in comparison with Sinovac, 21 days lang siya. Ang Sinovac kasi 28 days. So mas mabilis itong matapos. The storage requirement, frozen solution kasi negative 18 degrees. Ang vaccine efficacy niya, 91.6%. Okay, against asymptomatic and 21 days after the first dose. 100% against moderate or severe cases, 21 days after the first dose. What are the most common adverse effect reported? Since again, it is a intramuscular, most vaccine are intramuscular given. Pain on injection site, yung iba daw nag-fever pero low grade lang. Hyperthermia, headache, asthenia, muscle joint pain, malay, sore throat, diarrhea, rhinorrhea, loss of appetite, pain in the oropharynx, nasal congestion, cold sneezing, and cough. Pero nawala din daw agad, few minutes to hours lang. Serious side effect, non-reported. So ano-anong mga included? Greater than 18 years old were included in the primary outcome. Okay, the last vaccine available and approved here in the Philippines is the Oxford AstraZeneca. Like other vaccines na na-approve, nag-undergo na siya ng phase 1 to 3, being used by 74 countries, including UK, USA, Australia, Mexico, Argentina, and India. Na-approve siya January 6, 2021. Worldwide, sa Philippines, na-approve siya January 28, 2021. So if you will notice, itong Oxford AstraZeneca na to, ang dose na rin 2. However, at least 4 to 12 weeks apart, so medyo matagal. Hindi kagaya ng Sinovac na 28 days, yung Gamaleya na 21 days, ito 4 to 12 weeks, so almost 3 months bago ibigay yung second dose mo. Ang good thing lang nito, the storage requirement is 2 to 8%. Regarding the efficacy, 70.4%. So mapapansin nyo, siya yung pinakamababang efficacy rate. Okay? Against symptomatic COVID-19, 14 days after the second dose. And again, like other vaccines, since intramuscular, injection site pain and tenderness, fatigue, headache, feverishness, and myalgia. Serious side adverse effect, non-reported. So ano-anong mga population included? Greater than 18 years old and healthy adults. Kasama po siya, elderly, immunocompromised, and others po. So, ito lang po yung available na vaccine. Bago ko po tapusin yung talk ko, siguro po since this is a project of national government, medyo iwasan na rin po natin na mamili kung anong brand. Kasi if you will see, yung mga efficacy naman nila, it's more than 50%. So may 70, may 90, may 96. So at least kung nabakunahan po tayo, we still have this first efficacy rate. Kung 70% man ang pinakamababa, at least we are protected. Rather than hindi tayo na-injectionan o wala tayong protection. So siguro, magtiwala na rin tayo sa national government in coordination with the local government. And I don't think naman na magbibigay sila ng vaccine na hindi effective. And I do hope sa mga nasabi namin, mainganyo po namin kayo na magpabakuna. So gaya po ng sinabi ni Sir Arnel, meron pong link para kung saan kayo magpaparegister, pwede kayong magtanong sa BERT, pwede kayong magtanong sa barangay. At siguro ito yung nagiging problema ng iba, no? Pagka nagka-register na sila, wala na silang gagawin. So parang aantayin na lang nila na may mag-text sa kanila. Minsan kasi sa sobrang dami natatabunan. So pwede mo po siyang i-update. Kaya nga po meron dong mga password na hinihingi. Yung iba email, yung iba cellphone number, i-update nyo rin po. And then pag update nyo po, may lalabas doon na please select date. Pwede nyo siyang mamili kung anong gusto nyo, tsaka kung saang venue. So hindi po ibig sabihin na nakapag-register ka na, okay na yon. You have to update din po. O kundi kaya pwede kayong magtanong sa birth nyo o sa barangay nyo. Mag-update din po tayo, wag lang po tayong magantay. Kasi sa sobrang dami natatabunan, hindi kayo natitext, so nawawalan na kayo ng pag-asa, sasabihin nyo na, ay, hindi naman pala. No. After registration, try to update, try to go to the website and double check kung meron ng available date at saka kung saang place ang available po. So, with this po, thank you very much po for listening.
All right. So, thank you very much, Doc Leila, for this information. So, siguro dito sa mga narinig natin, I mean, as a nurse, kasi madali nating maintindihan. Medical kasi tayo. Pero yung sa mga layman, katulad ng ating mga DepEd personnel, teaching and non-teaching, so sometimes po parang, siyempre, expected naman natin, na medyo nahihirapan silang intindihin ito. And that's why, ito na po yung ibinaba namin sa inyong impormasyon para mas madali po nating ma-identify. Ano-ano ba itong mga iba't ibang uri ng bakuna? Ano ba itong ginagawa sa katawan natin? At ano ba yung effectivity? At mga inaasahang pwedeng maranasan kapag tayo ay nabakunahan. Di ba, Nurse Arnel, naalala mo noon na magkaiba, kasi po si Nurse Arnel po, saka ako, magkaiba po kami ng vaccine. Kami po ni Doktora pareho, Sinovac. Pero yung kay Nurse Arnel po ay iba.
AstraZeneca.
Oo, AstraZeneca. And so therefore, nag-ano mo kami, nagkukumparahan. Di ba na Nurse Arnel?
Yes.
Ikaw ba, ano ba yung naranasan mo nung nabakunahan ka?
Yung first dose ko kasi, ang naramdaman ko, para akong nagkaroon ng flu-like, Biñan, gano'n. Pero wala akong lagnat. Masakit lang yung kasukasuan ko. Then after yung kinabukasan, parang wala na nangyari. Balik na ulit sa dati. Until sa time yung aking second dose, wala na rin reaction na nangyari. Siguro nag-react na yung antibody ko.
Yung kay Doc Lay, di ba Doc? Na-share mo din yung naramdaman mo.
Yung sa akin, doon lang sa side, kasi nga, injection pa rin yan and all injections are foreign body. So, parang in-injection lang tayo ng any kind of vaccine or kahit nga yung anti-lagnat na paracetamol, masakit talaga siya kasi muscle. Pero after that, meron ka namang therapeutic management na pwedeng gawin, cold compress within 24 hours, one compress after 24 hours, then nawala din sa akin. So, masakit lang talaga pero okay naman. Wala naman ng ibang side effects sa akin.
Ako naman po actually, sadyang ako takot din sa turok. Pero ang naramdaman ko lamang po naman sa Sinovac is just pain on the vaccination side, nothing else. So kaya sabi nga po natin, yung kay Doc, nagkaroon siya ng pasa. Ako po wala, So, it doesn't mean na yung mga symptoms or side effects na nararamdaman natin sa bakuna ay pare-pareho. It can be 1 or 2 sa isa. Yung isa naman, pag minalas-malas, ang dami mga side effects. Sa iba naman halos wala. Ayun. So siguro, usapan natin kasi, actually sa akin, I find it, yung napaka-detalyado yung lecture ni Doc, di ba Doc? At saka yung kay Nurse Arnel, sa akin yung 10 must knows, napakalaking informasyon na nun. However, may mga tanong pa rin po kasi na lumalabas, dito sa atin sa chat boxes. And I also encourage, yung mga may gusto pa pong itanong, okay lang po yan. Just post your questions using our link so that we can answer all of those inquiries that you have in mind. So first and foremost, may isa kasi ditong nag-post, Arnel. I think, maayos mo itong masasagot na although kakategorize naman siya, siguro, i-reiterate lang din natin, kung allowed daw ba na yung mga tao may comorbidities ay tumanggap ng vaccine?
Yes, Ma'am Ellie, allowed naman sila na dapat lang stable po yung condition nila. At least naman pag pupunta po sa vaccination site, may doktor din po doon na mag-a-assess sa inyo. At kung may mga private physician po kayo, humingi po kayo sa kanila ng certificate na katunayan na pwede kayong turukan ng vaccine po.
Okay po.
Ma'am Lenny, may dagdag lang ako, no? Di ba pagpunta niyo sa vaccination site, may questionnaire doon na sasagutan ninyo. Okay. Yung iba naman, pag lahat nilagay no, and then hindi na yan hindi naman na, ibig sabihin is okay ka na magpa-vaccine. Yung iba nag-check lang ng yes, yan yung kakausapin ng doktor. Kung may hihingin sa'yo, say for example, you have hypertension, hihingin sa'yo yung reseta mo, or if you have medical certificate coming from your doctor, ipe-present mo lang yon, and then i-approve na nila yon, then after nun, vaccination site na. Injection na.
Dok, paano pala? Kung say for example, nawala yung prescription, tapos wala naman siyang medical report, okay lang ba kung yung mismong gamot ang dalhin? Yung mismong mga tablet ang iniinom as a proof?
Sa akin, nung nag-screen ako, tinatanggap ko yan. Anyway, ano naman, may self-assessment naman eh. So, bahala na naman silang kung nagsasabi sila ng totoo o hindi. Kaysa naman pabalikin ko pa yung pasyente. And at the same time, doon naman pagpunta mo naman sa vaccination site, i-BP ka naman. And meron silang guidelines doon. Say for example, kapag ang BP mo, 180, 110, dinirefer yan. Yun yung namin, maximum limit. Pag below 180, 110, tinatanggap na yan. Lalo na pag sinabi ng pasyente na hypertensive siya, wala lang siyang new prescription because dahil nga itong pandemic, hindi siya makapag-check up sa doktor niya, pero perpetually umiinom siya ng gamot niya at dala-dala niya yung gamot niya.
Naalala ko nga doon, no? Nandun din si Arnel kasi ako nga po ay natatakot. So, sabi ko kay Arnel, sama ko nga ako, nininervous ako. Sinamahan niya po ako doon sa Alberto Mansion. Actually, napakalaki moral support yun. Ganun din po gawin ninyo, kapag kayo nininervous, dali niyo yung mga marka buhay niyo, kapayagin naman po, may holding hands kayo habang tinuturukan. And I remember, kasama ko po si Nurse Vaccinated that time. And then, nung nakita ko na nandun na siya, sabi ko kay Nurse Arnel, sabi ko, Arnel, sige na, uwi ka na. Dito na si Base, meron na akong emotional support. Alam niyo po nangyari? Nung nandun na kami pareho, so we were all screened. Ako po ay medyo na-delay kasi po ako ay may history ng allergy. Pero wala po ako comorbidities. So I was given an antihistamine and asked to wait ng 1 oras pa para tumalabo na daw yung gamot, yung anti-allergy bago ako turukan. Tapos, I was just sitting in the waiting area. Mamaya-maya mo, inasahan ko, diba si matatapos na, umupo sa tabi ko. Sabi ko, ano ginagawa mo dito? Sabi niya, mataas ang BP ko eh. Sabi ko,
Kinabahan din.
Sabi ko, naman ako kumukuha ng emotional support. Ako
Siya rin pala.
katulad ko.
Actually, sa vaccination site, kung mapapansin nyo, pag healthy adults, yung iba 15 to 30 minutes lang ang monitoring. Pag may comorbid, like allergies or other, mas tumatagal, which is better naman kasi para ma-observe ka bago ka nila pauwiin. Mas matagal kang ma-obserbahan. Pero siguro ang maximum lang naman is 45 minutes to 1 hour. Pero at least, na-monitor kayo for any adverse reaction ng vaccination bago kayo pauwiin. So mas tumatagal pag may comorbid.
Ayun po. Kasi po, di ba, meron naman talaga siyang observation post-vaccination. Kaya nga po, wag po kayo mag-alala, kasi talaga namang all those personnel in the DOH sa ating mga CSO, they are well trained on that. So alam naman po nila yung gagawin bago kayo turukan, habang kayo ay naghihintay sa mga possible side effects. And mayroon po silang post-vaccination health teachings. Okay. So, isa rin sa tinatanong ng Doc.
Henry, may isang may dagdag ako. At the same time kasi, aside from group of medical doctors and nurses, midwives na nandoon, meron naman silang ambulance doon sa labas. So, in case of super adverse reaction na mai-encounter, pero so far wala pa naman, they have an affiliated hospital kung saan ka dadalhin in case lang naman. Pero so far, nung nag-start ang vaccination, wala naman pong reported.
Dok, may nagtanong dito, sabi nila daw doon na kung yan daw bang mga allergies na na-mention doon sa mga type ng vaccine, kasama daw ba doon yung allergic rhinitis?
Actually, kasama pa rin siya kasi allergic pa rin naman eh. So it is caused by an allergen. Although, kaya nga may mga screener doon, i-assess kung allergic rhinitis ba yan or common colds na present. Kaya nga, kung common colds yan, usually may associated signs and symptoms yan, chine-check. Kung namamaga yung ilong mo, tapos recent lang may fever ka. Pero kung allergic rhinitis yan, yan yung matagal na, tapos may previous na ininom na antihistamine na hindi nawawala. Kasi kung common colds yan, pupunta yan sa respiratory tract infection. Pero kung allergic rhinitis lang, alin ka lang ng bahin na sa history, sasabihin mo lang na kung uminom ka ng antihistamine, nawawala. So, pinapayagan po namin yun. Kailangan lang namin ma-confirm kung common cold siya or allergic rhinitis.
Kaya po importante yung ating history taking. Ano po, wag po kayong maglilihim ng mga medical history nyo kasi napakalaking importansya po yan na ma-assess ang magiging posibleng reaction ng katawan nyo. Ano po? Dok, ang tanong doon, di ba yung huli nating lecture, nasabi nila na most probably June. May schedule ba na ibibigay sa mga teacher para dyan sa vaccination natin?
Right now, mag-aantay po tayo sa LGU kasi sa kanila yung bagsak ng vaccine. Once naman meron na, i-announce naman nila yan sa page nila. So, kung gusto nyo, pwede nyo i-check sa FB page CHO1 and CHO2. Yung ugaliin nyo rin, halimbawa nag-register na kayo, ugaliin nyo rin na daily, puntahan nila yung page nila, may mga daily silang announcement regarding vaccination at saka availability kung meron na.
So, wala akong specific date, pero by this June po.
Wala. Kasi baka mamaya sabihin natin, June. Hindi pala sila mabigyan ng national government kasi lahat ng vaccine nanggagaling sa national government. So, gawin na lang nila, update. Punta lang sila sa FB page ng CHO1 and 2 for updates.
Actually, doon nga, sa FB page talaga, nagpo-post po sila. Ano po? So, if you can open the FB page ng ating local LGU or CHO rather, nagpo-post po talaga sila po doon. Nel, kanina, nabanggit mo na yung kung mandatory ba o voluntary yung vaccination. So, clarification lang ulit.
Okay. Ito po ay hindi mandatory. Nasa sa inyo po yung may waiver naman po kayong sasagutan or pwede kayong mag-decline po kayo po. Wala po tayo magagawa, it's your choice po.
Ayun. So, di ba nga po sabi natin, this is a government initiative para po malabanan natin yung paglaganap ng COVID-19. But then again, rest assured that our rights and freedom of choice is not being abandoned or ignored. Talagang nasa atin pa rin naman yung consent. Sabi nga, kung aayaw ka, alamin po muna natin lahat ng impormasyon. And then, kung talagang hindi ka pa rin talaga confident enough, it's okay. But, harapin po natin ang konsekwensya ng ating pag-ayaw. Ano po? Ayun.
Hindi kaya nga natin din to initiate yung vaccine awareness campaign na to para mag-enganya po kayo na magpabakuna. Kasi, kagaya ng sinabi ko, tinatanggal namin, itong vaccine awareness campaign na to, tinatanggal namin yung fear nyo. Okay? Kaya nga kami nagbibigay ng mga information, nagbibigay ng mga related studies para maiganya kayong magpapakuna. Kasi nga po, mas maganda na yung protektado kaysa hindi protektado.
Ayun. Dok, may question pa ditong isa. Sabi dito ay, is there a relationship between the efficacy of vaccines to the probability of infection after vaccination?
Although wala pa yung studies, kasi bigay ko sa inyo yung nangyari sa akin. I have completed my vaccine, Sinovac, for May 3 And then administer second dose May, March 31. And then after I had my second dose, I developed symptoms. So since this is an open forum, nag-positive po ako sa COVID-19. But since I received my vaccine, I had mild symptoms. In comparison dun sa mga kasama ko sa bahay na nag-positive, na they develop moderate symptoms. So siguro, by that experience, ang nakuha ko is, since I am protected, mild symptoms lang ako in comparison sa walang vaccine na nagkaroon ng moderate symptoms.
So this is in relation with the follow-up question din, no, ni Sir Sir Reynaldo Cabal. Nasabi niya dito daw, ano daw ba yung tawag dito? Probability of infection kapag siya ay nagkaroon ng infection. So di ba nga po dito, Doc, until now, di ba Doc, wala pa naman akong nababasa na tawag dito, yung duration of efficacy. Kasi until now,
under studies pa rin.
Oo, siguro Doc, maganda na pag-usapan nga po natin, discuss nyo nga po sa amin, yung tinatawag natin ng mga study, no, ng mga phases. Kasi as far as I know, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, alam ko, hindi pa tapos ng phase 2 ang karamihan sa mga bakuna. So,
hindi, phase 3 na. No, hindi. Phase 1 to 3 na natapos na nila.
Yes. Oo. So dito, hindi pa natin masasabi kung 2 years ba, 3 years ba, ang effectivity, ano do?
Oo, wala pa po. Pero may mga studies na after you receive your vaccine, since i-monitor na ng 12 months, kagaya nga ng sinabi ni Daniel, hindi pa lang din namin alam kung may booster shots silang tinatawag. Kasi once you are being vaccinated kasi, you will be develop antibodies once you are being exposed to that virus. So, sa 10 months now natin, kung mapapansin nyo, sabi ni Arnel, lahat ng naka-receive ng bakuna, 12 months na imo-monitor. So, siguro kasama yun sa studies, baka yung phase 4 and 5, na kung gaano katagal ang efficacy ng vaccine na yon or kung magkakaroon pa ba ng boosters. So siguro yun yung aantayin natin.
So Doc, under study pa rin?
Oo, under study pa rin siya.
Kasi di ba in a normal scenario, talagang inaabot ng 5 taon para magkaroon ng confirmation kung gaano katagal ang epekto ng bakuna sa katawan. Ang nabanggit nga ni Doc Lay kanina, no, di ba? Kung kailangan mo ba ng booster, katulad ng mga ibang mga bakuna na meron na tayo. And or baka naman, depende rin kasi sa katawan kung paano magre-react at magpuproduce ng antibody ang katawan. So doon natin malalaman yung mga titers na tinatawag, kung talaga bang may ginawa ba ang katawan mo laban doon sa virus na yon. Ano po? Ayun. So dito naman Doc, siguro din again, clarification, although nabanggit na rin po natin, kanino daw ba pinakamadaling humingi ng update? Okay lang ba sa scholars? Salamat.
Update on ano?
Update ng update ng schedule ng bakuna.
Update na.
Hindi. Di ba ang sabi ni Arnel, you have to ask the birth or yung barangay ninyo. Or kung hindi kaya, dun sa page ng CHO1 and 2. Kasi tayo, being a DepEd personnel, hindi natin alam. Yung local government kasi nakakaalam. So, ibig sabihin, CHO1 and 2, sila yung nakakaalam. Kasi baka mamaya sabihin namin, ay, meron ganito. Eh, hindi naman tayo ang local government, yung CHO1 and 2. So, mas maganda, magtanong sa BIRD, sa barangay, kung anong nasasakupan nyo, or punta kayo sa FB page ng CHO1 and 2.
Doc, yun bang registration link na papalitan or it is the same?
Alam ko same lang siya. Same lang. Lahat po, same lang. Whether CHO1 or 2, same lang po.
So, bali, individual inquiries na ito.
Individual inquiries
na lang. Para malaman yung mga...
I-check lang nila, update lang nila. Pupunta sila sa website, nilalagay doon login, di ba? Maglalagin sila. Kung ano yung telephone number, email, or password, maglalagay naman doon, tapos may lalabas. Vaccination profile or may QR code. Yes.
QR code?
Oo, open lang nila yung QR code na yan. Yung Biñan D360. Yung nasa page ng Biñan. So, checkin lang, nakalagay doon Biñan 360, all access sa government, including vaccination.
Dok, yun bang mga CHOs natin? Kasi meron tayong dalawa, di ba? Yung Santo Domingo at San Antonio. Ano ba yun? Nagbibigay ba sila ng schedule on a particular location? Say for example, Santo Domingo, syempre, sakop tayo ni Central CHO1. So ano ba yun? Nagkakaroon ba ng dalawang station base sa lokasyon? O isa lang talaga na pangmaramihan sa buong Biñan?
Hindi. Kasi di ba, since nahati ang CHO1 and 2, so kung halimbawa, kung Santo Domingo ka, CHO1 ka. Kung San Antonio ka, CHO2 ka. May mga list naman doon ng barangays kung kanino ka under. Kung CHO1 and 2 ka. Okay? So pagka na-post mo yun, lalagay naman nila doon, pipili ka. CHO1 and 2 kung anong barangay ang nasasakupan mo. And then nakalagay doon, vaccination update, then select date, then select venue, kung saan ka mas malapit.
Yun. So, importante kasi talaga na when you do your inquiry, actually, nagbibigay naman po agad ng mga responses, yung ating yung sa FB page ng CSO.
Yes.
So, meron po sila doon na talagang sumasagot naman sa mga inquiries. And or otherwise, kung kailangan niyo po naman ng assistance, nandiyan po yung ating mga school nurse, we have two sa ating pong San Antonio campus, si Nurse Arnel nga po, at saka si Sir Ralph naman, sabi niya integrated. Para kung medyo nalilito pa kayo, naguguluhan pa, pwede naman po na humingi po ng tulong para po doon. So again, yung link po natin is by 360 app. Doon daw po nagre-register po. Ayun. So sa may mga naka-schedule na po, yung mga out of Biñan, kasi ongoing po, Santa Rosa meron din. I don't know about San Pedro, Dok. May balita ba sa San Pedro?
Meron na rin, yes. Nag-start na rin sila actually. Lahat na halos. Lahat na. Kasi it's a project ng national government in coordination with LGU. Alam ko lahat na po sila nag-start na.
Ayun po. So, syempre, depende yun sa location nyo, residence kung saan kayo nakatira. Po, para hindi nga dumugin. Kasi kung mangyayari dyan na SDO Biñan, hindi naman po lahat taga Biñan. Kapag nagkataon po, baka dumumog ang tao. So, iniwasan po yun.
Tsaka, Henry, dagdag ko lang, wala pong walk-in ha. Wala pong walk-in. You have to register. Kailangan may QR code kayo and dapat may schedule po kayo. So, kahit senior citizen ka, sasabihin mo, priority naman po ako, pupunta ako. No. Walang walk-in. You should have your QR code. Magpa-register po muna kayo. Know your schedule. Know your date ng schedule mo. Know your time. Saka po nila kayo i-accept. Kasi baka marinig nyo sa TV, nakalagay doon, pwede na ang walk-in. Hindi po. Kailangan po naka-register kayo, may QR code kayo, may date of vaccination kayo, at saka may time kayo ng vaccination. Para hindi po
Nabanggit ng ating pamahalaan na tina-target nila is until December daw. Pero parang malabong mangyari yun, Dok.
Yes, yung December na yan, kasi pabugso-bugso ang dating ng vaccine. So, kaya nga, ayaw natin magbigay ng date na sa June, mabibigay na sila. Kasi nga, it depends sa national government kung gaano katagal sila magbigay sa local government. Kasi ang local government naman, once na meron na, ibinibigay na nila.
Actually, Doc, pabor ako doon, Nurse Arnel. Di ba pinag-uusapan nga, isang controversial na naman talaga yan, na bakit nga naman hindi payagan ng mga private companies as long as it pass through the DOH criteria, payagan na nila kasi talagang malabo yan na ma-reach natin yung herd immunity at this very short period of time. Kaya malaking tulong, na payagan ang mga private companies.
At least ma-achieve agad yung 70%.
Henny, Anel, kaya siguro hindi pinapayagan, this is just my personal point of view, base dun sa mga nangyayari. Kasi nga, ang nagbibigay ng vaccine is national government, hindi kayo magagastusin. Ngayon, kung papayagan mo yung private company, so bibili sila ng vaccine, baka magulat sila, sisingilin ng kumpanya yun sa kanila, ibabawas na lang sa sweldo. And since this is a project of national government, we have to wait. So patience is a virtue. Magantay lang po tayo, no? Wait lang po tayo kasi pag pinayagan natin ng private company, hindi sila ang bibili, yung company ang bibili. Okay? And ngayon, hindi natin alam kung magkano. Hindi natin alam kung magkano yung price. Baka magulat sila pagdating ng sweldo, salary deduction na pala. Yun yung iniiwasan. Kaya nga, since it is a national government project, national government ang magbibigay, mag-aantay lang po talaga tayo.
Kaya talagang dapat,
Yes.
take advantage of this initiative. Kasi naiisip ko baka mamaya, kapag natapos na yung campaign ng bakuna, syempre, talagang hindi na mawawala si COVID eh. Bahagi na yan ng mga magiging pangkaraniwang karamdaman. Naisip ko naman doon, paano pag naman out of budget ng Pilipinas? And then hindi sila nagpabakuna. Tapos kung kailan wala ng pondo, tsaka nila gusto magpabakuna. Abay, magkano naman kayong halaga noon?
Yes, yun ang hindi natin alam. Tsaka, pangalawa, kung meron pa ba. Diba? Una yung price, pangalawa, kung meron pa bang available. Kaya nga, since this is a national government project, please po, we have to participate po para din naman po sa atin ito.
Ayun. So, kaya nga minsan po, naisip ko rin, ako talaga duwag ako sa turo. Pero sabi ko sa sarili ko, I'm not doing this for myself. I'm doing this for my family. Kahit masakit ang turo. Kahit medyo ninenervyos. Pero di ba, kung mahal mo ang pamilya mo, kailangan pangalagaan mo ang sarili mo. What about you, Nurse Arnel?
Yes, dapat nga po ganun tayo, no? Pangalagahan natin yung ating sarili at the same time yung ating family, community, barangay, and even our division. At least makuha natin yung mataas na percentage na vaccination po.
Pahabol question. Sabi dito, siya raw ay taga Cavite. Pwede daw ba siya mag-register sa Bayan 360 ng Biñan?
Kung taga Cavite ka po, so dapat magre-register ka sa Cavite, Cavite Res Bakuna nyo. Okay, kasi yung iba, hinihingi yung resident certificate. So kung saan ka nakatira, dapat doon po kayo magpaparegister para doon po kayo mabakunahan. Kahit dito po kayo nagtatrabaho sa Biñan.
Again, clarification po ha. Kung saan nakatira, doon po kayo dapat magpalista kasi po yan ay allocated ng LGU. Okay, sa bawat bayan. Binibilang po kayo kasi kayo yung doon yung address ng tirahan. So, nakabudget naman po yan para sa LGU funds. Ano po? Ayun. So, meron pa ba tayong dapat dito? Maging talakayan? O sa akin kasi, clear naman na. Pero siguro dahil medical tayo, pare-pareho. So, for those who still have any questions, post pa po kayo. Meron pa po bang mga tanong para may dagdag po natin sa talakayan po natin ngayon. So, but for the time being, we would like to appreciate all those who have participated in this vaccination awareness campaign, hoping that we will get, 100% ba tayo?
Yes, 100%. Yes,
100% participation. Kung bakunahan. Kung may mga natatakot pa rin, you can visit us in our office. Kung gusto niyo po ng one-to-one counseling, may mga anxiety. Andiyan po si Nurse Meti, no? Para sa ating mental health. Baka natatakot. Ninenervyos, Or, you can approach your school nurses. Andiyan po si Nurse Arnel, si Nurse Ron, and also your nurses assigned in your school. Si Nurse Basi, Gary, and me. Don't hesitate. Kasi po, syempre, makakapagpaliwanag naman po kami sa inyo kasi medical po kami. And understandable naman po na medyo nahihirapan po kayo na ma-absorb lahat ng mga informasyon na i-share namin ngayong araw. So, waiting po tayo basta ang tabay lang po sa schedule, ihanda yung mga kinakailangan ng mga medical reports, whatever it may be, na maaaring isama nila during screening. At saka po yung importanteng updating ng ating mga registration sa pagka-Biñan, Kabayan 360, and for other cities, doon po sa inyong LGU link. Ano po? At pumunta lamang po sa mga official website na huwag makinig sa mga sabi-sabi at saka mga post ng post, wala naman pong basehan. Ano po? Go to the DOH, go to the official website of the WHO, task force ng ating COVID-19, at saka mga COVID awareness official sites po ng mga CDC or communicable disease. Ano po? And most especially, is to really pray hard. Our battle is not yet over. Okay? Nasa kalagitnaan pa lamang po tayo ng laban. And rest assured that our government will do and exercise their full power to be able to protect the Filipino people. Ano po? Okay? So, last look sa ating chat boxes. Wala na po ba habol ng tanong? Wala na ba? Wala na siguro. Okay.
So siguro, Benny, bago natin tapusin to, pwede na ba nating sabay-sabay na isigaw yung ating campaign?
Okay.
So,
Doc, suggestion ko lang din siguro, I think we can give them our last statement. Fine na, bago po natin sabihin yung ating mantra.
Okay, we have the mantra. Kaya kakagawa lang namin, mainit-init pa.
Okay. So last statement, Arnel. Last statement.
Yes, tayo po yung magpabakuna po, wag po kayong matakot. Ito naman ay epektibo, nagdaan po ng clinical trials, no po. Ganun pa rin po, in case na pag nabakunahan na tayo, sundin pa rin po natin yung mga health safety protocol, no po, para po tayo maging protektado at tayo yung magpaano na po, bakuna.
Right. Thank you, Nurse Arnel. And Doc Lay.
Okay, so excited na ako dito sa mantra natin eh. O, hindi yata nakikita yung aking balikat eh. No? So, pagbilang ko ng 3,
Okay.
SDO, handa ka na ba? SDO Biñan, handa ka na ba? 1, 2, 3.
2, 3.
Fresh
Fresh
bakuna.
bakuna.
Protektado. Okay, the best one. Thank you. Ulit.
Sabay-sabay.
SDO Biñan, handa ka na ba? Fresh bakuna. Protektado.
Okay. So, maraming salamat po for
Maraming salamat po.
And I hope it really open up answers to your questions at sa mga hesitations po natin. And you can send us a message kung medyo may gumugulo pa rin po sa isip, ha? After all, we are one in this battle. Ano po, sama-sama po tayo para sa SDO Biñan. Iisa lamang po yung pinaglalaban natin. Protection para sa lahat, protection para sa kabataan ng mga batang Biñanense. So that ends our podcast today. Thank you very much for joining us. Always practice safety protocol and stay safe, healthy, and happy all the time. God bless everyone. Thank you.